Welcome to the continuing Summer of AI series. In today's presentation, Zhang, Marc Thompson, and Sree Venda will present their collaborative project, AristAI, a tool that includes personalized tutor for academic support and an accessibility checker that scans and fixes course content in compliance with Title II requirements. Please help me welcome Marc Thompson, Sree Venda, and Zhang online.
Thanks, Ava. Thanks for introducing us, and thanks to all of you for coming to this Summer of AI session. Faster, cheaper, compliant, how AristAI delivers institutional efficiency. If you'd like to follow along, there is a short URL address on this slide. It's just goillinois.edu/SummerAI, Summer AI. We'll start by introducing ourselves. I'm Marc Thompson. I work here at the Center for Innovation in Teaching and Learning. I also direct the Information Accessibility Design and Policy program. Also with us today is Zhang, who will be doing the large portion of our presentation focused on a demo of the AI accessibility tool that we've been working on. And Sree will be joining us as well to talk about COZAD, an undergraduate event where AristAI helped innovation with undergraduate students. So we'll get some other application of AristAI there. And so generally what we're going to talk about today are COZAD and AristAI and how those two work together. We'll focus a lot on the AI accessibility tool, although AristAI has a suite of AI tools. We're really going to focus on the accessibility tool for the most part. Tony will give a quick overview of the AristAI accessibility suite and the educational suite. And then at the last part, for the bulk of the presentation, Tony will be giving a demo of the AI accessibility tool. And then we'll open it up for question and answer for about 10 minutes. And I'll hand it off to Sree to talk about COZAD.
Thank you, Marc. Hi, everyone. I'm Sree Venda. So today I'm here to talk about COZAD and AristAI. How are they two together? How many of you have heard about COZAD before? Good. And how many of you have heard about AristAI? Good. Thank you. So how are these two linked? So that's where we are going to go next. So COZAD is nothing but like a student venture challenge program here on campus run by Technology Entrepreneur Center at Granger College of Engineering at the University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign. And AristAI is the new AI tool that we will be talking about. So how did AristAI work? So with the COZAD, a lot of number of students started asking more and more questions because the number of students participating in COZAD is increased very much. So what happens when the number of questions increase? People get overwhelmed too much answering all those questions. This is what happened. Like multiple questions, the same questions are answered again and again. What did AristAI do? It is nothing but it gave fast responses. It acted as a chatbot with high accuracy and 24/7 access. So that way, the organizers of the COZAD doesn't have to keep answering all those questions. So AristAI pitched in to answer all of those. And it did on 2 platforms. It is integrated with Discord and Canvas. I'll show you how that works. So Discord. So when students posted questions on Discord, those answers are available to all other students who are on the Discord channel. So that way, those answers can be seen by everybody and they don't have to ask the same question again. But in Canvas, for students who prefer to ask questions in private, who wanted some kind of privacy, they would ask questions on Canvas, and that's where AristAI answered their questions privately. This is just a simple example of how AristAI answered. So AristAI, like one of the students asked her, who will be pitching at today's workshop? instead of just saying like the names or anything. So AristAI gave a very good response. Like today's workshop will feature pitches from participants who have signed up to present. However, the specific names of those pitchers have not been disclosed. You will find out who is pitching today during the workshop, and it also reminds them at what time they have to be. Be sure to check in early at the workshop, which begins at 5:30 p.m. And so if you have any further questions or assistance, feel free to ask. So that way, AristAI answered their questions even before the organizers saw the answer question and answered it. So this is what the organizers have said about AristAI. So they said like they really loved how well it integrated with the Discord and Canvas, the two platforms the students already used. So this is where it actually started. It saved tons of staff hours. As opposed to emailing individual students, they were able to take their ownership and ask their own questions. These are some of the feedback that we got about AristAI. And if you'd like to know more, feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. That's the QR code to my LinkedIn, and send a message. I can connect you with Tony or Marc. And after this comes the actual part of the cool features of the AristAI. You might be thinking AristAI is just a chatbot, but no, there's more to it. And that's what will be discussed by Marc and Tony next. Marc.
Thanks, Sree. So I want to talk a little bit about the genesis of the AI accessibility tool in particular. As I mentioned earlier, Tony, AristAI's educational suite includes a number of tools that leverage AI, but we're going to talk mostly today about the AI accessibility tool. And this tool originated as an idea that I had after experimenting with AI in some strategic ways. I was specifically trying to take advantage of the large language model and how I could leverage that to improve the accessibility of content. And I'll give you two examples. One of those examples has to do with context, because I know that the AI can work with context. So when we look at something like Microsoft, I'll pick on Microsoft for a minute. Microsoft's AI generated alt text for images, automated. It is really, really bad. In fact, it's so bad that it's an impetus to go in there and change the alt text. So what I did was I was experimenting with the AI and I wanted it to use the context. So before and after the image to get a better idea of the alternative, what should be the alternative text description for the image. And I got some really good results with that. As we began to develop that later on with Tony, we began to incorporate other AI as well as using the context. So image recognition coupled with the context. And then context can be applied in other ways to accessibility as well. So another experiment I was doing was with linked text, hyperlink text that's very vague, like click here, more, right? Or here. So asking the AI to look at the context before and after that link to get a better idea of what descriptive link text should be. And I got some good results with that as well. So another example of capitalizing on the large language model would be its ability to organize information. And so I tried an experiment where I said, take this content, render it, or use the topic outline of this content to map the heading structure of this content. So using it to convert material to HTML, correct HTML format by relying on large language models' capabilities for organizing content. So those were some early experiments. And then I attended a faculty retreat where I ran into Tony's postdoc student who was doing a presentation on the tutor. And I was just super, super impressed by all of the really thought out use cases that I saw. And I wanted to see if I could find out more about this tool and how we might work together. With Michelle Bellini, our CITL's director's support, I wrote a faculty fellowship proposal, which was accepted. and Tony and I began to work together. Sree was is our program, or was our program manager for that venture. And so we began to do a lot of foundational work on developing that AI tool and a dashboard to go along with it. I'll talk a little bit about some of the training. I mentioned some of the heuristics that I was talking about earlier, but we also made sure that this tool had the advantage of the information contained in the Information Accessibility Design and Policy Program, information relevant to making course content accessible and making document content accessible. We also made sure that the AI drew from WCAG, Web Content Accessibility Guidelines 2.2, which is the frame of reference for the Title II update. So that is the guideline that Title II references. For video work and audio work, we use the DCMP captioning key and the description key for audio description. And I fed the AI, with Tony's help, as many super bad examples as I could, HTML pages, document formats. So we trained on that. With that, I'm going to turn things over, or I'll just talk a little bit about the educational suite. As I mentioned, there are a number of tools there. There's the AI Tutor that I mentioned. Tony, do you want to chime in a little bit about the?
Yes. Thank you, everyone, and thank you, Sree. Thank you, Marc, for the introduction of AristAI. And it's my great pleasure to be able to participate in this summer of AI conference, and especially in the afternoon. Because today I'm a little bit sick, so I will try my best to concentrate all of my energy for the next maybe 30 minutes or so. I try my best. Okay, but if you have any question that unclear during my presentation, feel free to actually reach out to me, but I will do my best to do this. And as what Marc just mentioned, that AristAI is more than just a chatbot, even though we initiated with AI chatbot just for teaching of assistant purpose. But since that, we already continue to evolve from an AI tutor in which the student, we can answer the students the questions like a 7/24 and AristAI have been widely adopted on campus at UFI, in more than 10 departments, and in the highest time during the final, roughly about 4,000 students are actually testing the AristAI tool to prepare for the finals, so which fantastic. And AristAI has expanded also nationally, so not just about the UFI, it has been expanded to Chicago, Loyola, DePaul, and so on. It has been widely adopted, and we continue to expand because the way that we really try to address to solve is how do we actually solve the higher ed situation in the era of AI, because from educational, as an instructor, as a professor point of view, that every one of us as a professor, instructor, or admin, what we are facing is like the AI has changed significantly. How do we adapt the need of the students and the need of the higher institution as well, and simultaneously solving the budget constraint, especially as what we know, it's like maybe on a different administration policy, there could be some budget constraint here and there. So we continue to explore and develop new tools, including the AI Accessibility Suite and AI Program Mapper. So AI Accessibility Suite will be the focus for today, which we intend to introduce our philosophy to institutional wise, so that the institution can solve the problem in a very efficient way. And the AI program mapper or curriculum mapper would help the program director to create the new course and then to meet the accreditation requirement, in a very speedy way. So to come back to the focus of today, which is the AI accessibility suite, we try to come up is the institutions actually face major hurdle here. Just taking maybe us as one example. Okay, I just hypothetically come up with this number. This is at UFI by utilizing the our geese as one example and multiply by number of school and number of the college here at UFI to come up with this number. Roughly, we have 7,000 courses overall at UFI. And this could be in total, like every year, there could be roughly about 250,000 documents generated PDF and Word, mainly PDF. And similarly, we can some faculty do the recording. There could be 10,000 video recorded. And if we actually on the right hand side, you can see here, if we actually try to address the accessibility issues for all of these courses on an annual basis, like if you're trying to spend like a 20-hour on 7,000 courses, 1 hour for each document PDF. This is a lot of things. Word similarly, and maybe 20 hours for the video, which actually will account for in total is 590,000 hours labor work. And think about that, 590,000 of labor work. If we actually split it, if we actually put this all on the university could easily go bankruptcy. So university by itself cannot handle this. And if actually all of this work go towards each individual college or by individual college departments by themselves, they cannot handle this. And I mean, apparently we can actually push it to the 590,000 work to faculty instructor for someone like me who teach the finance. And so simultaneously, you ask me to learn what the accessibility is and going through maybe multiple hours of training accessibility each year, which is irrelevant to my major. This could be intimidating. And this is a huge issue. But now here is given all the challenge that we are facing, given all the budget constraint that what we have, what if we have a solution to cut down the expense 90%? That could be doable. That might be something that manageable. And in a sense, so that's we come up with our philosophy. The philosophy from AristAI point of view is we are going to allocate, we are going to ask admin, ASPER, coordinator, and institution, and faculty each contribute to a fair share amount. The fair share amount will be roughly per courses. Each party would contribute 3 minutes in total. But for instance, the IT at each individual department might spend like a 30 minutes in total to maybe get the tool set up, and then maybe the coordinator, the ASPER within that each individual college or department might spend relatively speaking 3 minutes per courses, and simultaneously the faculty would actually spend 3 minutes per courses. So in total, we can see here, roughly speaking, 10 minutes per courses overall. This will make the efficiency increase significantly. In a sense, this would help to address the accessibility challenge faced by institutions. And this is the philosophy overall how we solve it. But it seems like, oh, this is listen to be cool, but how do we actually solve that? Now over the next maybe 10 minutes, this is where I'm going to actually come in and show how we actually solve address this issue. Okay. Maybe I just start to share the screen. Are you able to see the screen sharing?
Now, yes.
What about now?
Yeah, we see it.
Okay, so we you can see this screen sharing. Okay, so this is just a canvas side. So here for us, you can see I mean, this is for demo purpose. So we actually show you a 2 panel. One is for admin panel. The other is instructor panel. The reason for that is what I mentioned. Admin can't understand every single accessibility issue or requirement that the course content. For instance, admin might not know what will be an appropriate alt text for the image, and admin does not know what might be the right link or file or PDF or video that should be linked to certain file. Admin just doesn't have that kind of a knowledge, because this is like a very specific course specific, but he know about what the accessibility is. So in that sense, is we would like maximize the efficiency of the what's the accessibility like coordinators expertise. In this perspective, we call it the admin. Admin would use the admin panel to actually solve most of the issue in a very efficient way. They can actually, we can see here that if we actually have if admin have can access one course, or can access like 1,000 courses under one college, they can actually fix instantaneously, fix all of the course here. But if we, for each individual instructor, he or she will only be responsible for the accessibility issue that within his or her own courses. So in this way, that's why we also have another instructor panel. I mean, before getting into detail, I would actually like to show you to say what's the what would look like different from admin panel, because we respect the expertise for each for admin, so they can actually see a lot of the detail. So they can actually come in and see each individual detail. See, they can actually do some refinement. They can add in each individual page, or they can add each individual courses. But if we actually look into the instructor view, the instructor view will become much simpler. In the instructor view, we do not see those kind of a scroll. We do not see any other thing. We only tell them how many issues here detected and how many manual issue require, and only button here remaining is fix button here. So that's what that means. And in this way, so we come back to see both parties would need to contribute, but admin apparently would have much more powerful tool. We will continue to see what the reason before that. And here, for admin, apparently, in the age of AI, we actually enable just like all of the AI. You can see this is our AI chatbots have been also incorporated into the accessibility. We can actually, different from in the past, when we actually read the reports, and we can actually just say, ask a lot of people, for instance, what are the major accessibility issue? No? Okay. So we will continue to tell you what are the major accessibility issues of admin. Have a very powerful tool. They can, and very friendly tool as well. They can actually chat and engage with the current situation. But now coming back to how it works. So here we multiple things. One is, if the admin want to fix one course, he could choose which course that he want to fix, or you can choose all of the course if there's a multiple in this case, because this is just a demo, we have one course. But if we have 1,000 courses, they can choose all the courses. Then we can, for admin, what he needs to do is go in and click the fix. Once he commit to fix, what he telling to us is what we have found. This is some of the issue here, where this is some of the issue will require the manual fix. Okay, so he can actually he can come in, and he can come in and decide whether those issues would need to fix, or he can come and decide it. We can go later. So this is one way. Or the other way is we can actually look into each individual cases, each individual course. For instance, in this particular courses, we can see, once he come in, we will tell him there are in total 81 issues. Fail, we identify 81 accessibility issue, and 17 of them here require the manual fix. We can get into see each one of them. Let's just pick one file for illustration purpose. Just choose this one. We can apparently the admin can actually view the report. Okay, well, I'm gonna show the report later on, but here before I do that, let me just show how the tool would look like. And here is how the view will look like. This will actually bring up the page on the left-hand side where there are accessibility issue highlighted. And on the right-hand side, we can see here that we actually categorize the accessibility issue into multiple categories. In this, only heading, list, and hyperlink. And we should also show you this like a admin can use the bar continue to scroll up and down to identify where this issue is. Because it's all within this page. It's very easy for admin to actually go and search and determine whether that might be something issue. And we simultaneously also tell them in a human understandable language about what this really means. Like we just tell them, hey, this should be changed to heading from P to H. Well, if he agreed that he can choose to apply, apparently, for instance, I just choose apply, then this accessibility issue is fixed. That's what. But we apparently, as admin, he can go through this back and forth, or not back and forth, each by himself. But his more efficient way is if he can do is because he can just click fix all issue and make things run very efficiently. Let's just use this page as one example. I click fix all. You're going to see here is the bot is actually fixing all the issue automatically, just showing what it's operating right now and what's before and what's after all the how he fixed this issue. So that's exactly what he's is operating right now. And typically he will only stop whenever he actually reaches to a location where he couldn't actually solve. You can see here how he solved the issue. Now here is coming to one great example. Okay, this great example is basically showing, hey, this is a broken link. Check accessibility of PDF. This is called broken link. This happened in almost every courses that we have found. So here, from admin perspective, he has a couple chance. He can actually notify instructor. He could actually ignore, which basically means to say, I know this is an issue, but I don't want to fix. Or if admin know the correct the link, he could choose. So in this case, for the demo purpose, I will show how I just notify the instructor, so then we can see how instructor and the admin coordinate together. In this case, I would just choose notify instructor. So he would tell, okay, we have to choose, you can publish the change only when the instructor fixed error. So we give a notification. What that means is, even though the rest of the issue has been completely fixed by admin, but the admin cannot publish the page, which on Canvas, the major LMS we utilize at UFI, would not see the update until the instructor come in and fix that issue. Now here, we know all of the things, we actually fix multiple things. Now let's actually get back to instructor side. Okay, now here, let's come back. Because in the past, if you remember, there were roughly 18. Now we notify one issue to the instructor. So instructor was actually come in. I mean, this right now, just for convenient purpose, we just put things together. Here, we see the admin just tell him, in this courses, you have one broken link. So the instructor, upon receiving the message, he would just come in and enter. If he had the correct link, he just put in the correct link here. I just, for demo purpose, I just put in any hypothetical correct link. I just apply for this particular. See here. Okay, I put a link here and click next. Oh, there's another issue here, but anyway, this will be a good thing. And then once he solved this issue, to broken link, which is pretty much on this particular page, all of the issues have been fixed. Now here at this moment, the instructor will have a chance to do two things. One thing is to overwrite the original file. Or the second is to publish as a new canvas copy, but here just make demo simplification. We'll just overwrite original file so that he doesn't need to worry about this issue again. He just click the publishing, and then this is the process goes on. Once you finish the publishing, this will show great. So we can see here, this is one page have been fixed very quickly, just over the few minutes that I actually goes on. And because I go through the detail, but if they want to do a batch processing, we can actually enable the admin to just fix all of the issue at a batch. And simultaneously, you can see here this thing issue. You can fix this all 26 issues simultaneously, choose all fix. If he doesn't want to do this, that's fine. You just go onto the home page and see how the bot continuously to operate it dynamically or in parallel or in sequence or in parallel. So in that case, what we anticipated, roughly the admin would actually need to roughly spend slightly 3 or 5 minutes each courses. And for instructor perspective, just now you can see instructor only need to provide the correct information, correct link, roughly about a few minutes. In this case, though, we actually we enable the admin and instructor to coordinate, solve all of these problems very, very efficiently. Okay, so this will be the demo for the Canvas accessibility. And before that, I actually want to actually tell you like a very nice story. And I have been working with many faculty at CITO, including Marc, Sree, and Tony Geese as well, just like over different kind of a initiative. And Tony actually came to me. He said, "Well, I have 2 most popular courses at UFI on campus, but I'm facing the issue is each courses have roughly about more than 400 or 500 accessibility issue. Each course is by himself. And then to actually to address like the accessibility issue for that two courses, he would anticipate to have him course like more than couple weeks to even going through as an expert. Okay, as expert, long hour. I'm talking about on 24 hour each day. He really tried to need to solve that issue for a long time, but she couldn't. She just doesn't have the bandwidth. So she actually she know that we have been doing this. So we actually came in, jump in, and then literally just cost us like a few minutes to get all of the accessibility issue eliminated. Okay, for both 2 of his her courses very fast. So because our program enable parallel processing, which actually just required some computational power. But here at UFI, we have a lot of computational resource. So what that really means is we can, if we work together, we can actually address the accessibility issue for LMS in a very efficient way. I mean, another issue that we need to deal with will be the documents accessibility and video accessibility. Because of the timing issue, I will not be able to demonstrate the video and document accessibility issue. But to actually solve the document accessibility issue, for instance, the PDF is the majority thing. We also have a developer. I think right now the state of art tool, I think the most powerful tool in this country here to solve the PDF accessibility. Now, in the past, here is even today, it's like I'm actually making some joke with Marc when we are making sure that the presentation slide is accessible, because Marc is an expert, years of expert in this field, leading expert. So he knows like each content, each portion need to be accessible or here or there. And add all text. I would say, oh, hey, Marc, maybe this is something what we can do is let me do it, I would not actually do that. I would just maybe later on, let's finish however we want to design. We'll just drag the file, put the file, PowerPoint, PDF into this, then choose which version of our AristAI tool and then make it accessible. the PDF accessible tool. Our PDF accessible tool had also gone through the extensive testing at multiple like public university in the United States right now. It's like the feedback that we receive extremely positive. So far, very cool. So what that really means is we actually not only meet the WCAG standard, we actually make the highest, like even PAC 24 standards over there. So the usage for this is also very simple. The next slide is just pull the file into it, and then it would just automatically generate it. And a couple weeks ago, when I actually presented at the Lincoln Legacy Teaching and Conference, I mean, many folks, many colleagues from other universities, Johns Hopkins, University of Oregon, and Case Western Reserve, and they all actually blame it. They also think the PDF accessibility issue the main challenge that they face. But here it's also I mentioned to them, this is we already pretty much like overcome 90 or 95% of the challenge over there. Just maybe some corner case that we cannot solve, but here it's what we are committed to actually getting better and better. So accessibility issue is a major issue, but we are trying to make the life for both the institution, admin, instructors' life much enjoyable. So in the age of AI, what they really should focus on is how do we, for instructors, is how do we actually provide or generate the high quality of contents to meet the new demands that might not be met by the AI, because the student can actually learn from the AI if this is some new knowledge that they actually want it. But now here, what we should do is how do we enable that's the case. So here we actually never stop innovation, and if we have more further opportunity to actually partner with the different organizations here at UFI, including the CIDO or like GEES, my home school, which where I actually received lots of support as well. It's like we continue to maybe identify where we can actually AI can help to expand the scope of the teaching and learning, and simultaneously enhance the productivity of both admin and instructor in this very challenging era or period. I think that will make every party very successful, and I think that's also the mission for AristAI as well. So that being said, is I would like to maybe pass the token back to Marc and Sree before I can answer any further question. Okay.
There was one question, just very briefly, just checking if AristAI integrated with our UIUC Canvas instance?
Is AI integrated in our UIUC Canvas instance? The answer is half and half. So what we have done is we actually have been integrating with some Canvas on this certain limitation. Okay, so we do not have integration campus wise, but we have some limitations. So we have to pass vesting here. So we do to answer some question. Some courses, many courses already have our AristAIs integrating. For instance, you can see here there's courses. Once we have to see here, we can see AristAI over there. Yes, but we will actually, once we actually pass certain testing, after the testing phase, we will hopefully that we can actually fully integrate with Canvas. But we are the Canvas partner. AristAI is Canvas partner. We comply with LTI 1.3, and this kind of a client. We definitely can integrate with more of the majority of the LMS, including the Canvas, D2L, Moodle, media space, almost everything that you could possibly think about that we can integrate. It's not a technology issue, it's just a compliance.
Thank you for answering the question, Tony.
Yeah.
Okay, well, getting back to the slides proper, I wanted to stress two things about this tool that I think are really important. First, it shatters the paradigm of the existing accessibility tool, which checks for accessibility issues, and then you fix them. This is a tool that actually goes in, diagnoses, and fixes the issues for you. So that's really revolutionary. The other thing I wanted to stress is that this tool is on its way to becoming an end-to-end solution for online course accessibility. So the tool is going to move through the Canvas pages and then move on through the documents that are in the courses. There are this semester 330,000, roughly 330,000 documents that are out there online, 250,000 of which are PDFs. So I wanted to stress those 2 points. There's a link to the slide and to the AI accessibility suite and homepage. I also put a link in to the Information Accessibility Design and Policy Program, which I mentioned earlier. If you're interested in that, please contact me. If you're on campus and you're an instructor, please, if you haven't already, make use of the Make Your Course Accessible website. It's a tremendous resource for quick information and resources. And then, of course, we have ongoing Quick Start workshops, which are very hands-on and will help you, will really empower you to feel more confident about making your course content accessible. And so we can still take some questions. We still have time. Yes.
So yes, I see some question here. I would like to answer, Mark. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay, sure. Here, Rob asked the question is like have AristAI undergone any security review? It's actually being it's under security review right now. We are going to SOC 2, and we're also going through the security review here in Illinois and security review in other states such as Texas and California. So it's being evaluated, not just here. It's also outside of the national wise. Will this be a replacement for POTAC? That's the university decision. That's a university decision. Here is the timeframe integration in a different platform. Okay, Laura asked a question about is the timeframe. We supported the integration within the different platform right now. So we can connect it to Moodle media space. We can actually we support the scanning of a media space, YouTube, and most of the things already. But as I say, if we just for the testing phase, for the phase 1, that we shouldn't be an issue. But if actually want to go into the production phase, so we still need to go get the security review completed. So that's maybe take a little bit time, but I think it's still quite it's definitely getting there. We technology wise, we already support the integration of all of the major platform. I can actually show you quickly here. I have to try to see if I can share the screen one more time. Right now, I'm showing the faculty dashboard here. We'll be able to see this. Many courses are live courses here. You can see here. This is how we actually connected to the help the faculty instructor admin to actually connect our AristAI into the system very easily. It literally just take a few minutes. So here we actually define the connectivity or helping the instructor admin to fully manage the whole teaching cycle. Before the class, and during the class, and after the class. Now, making connectivity is what need to be done before the class. The before the class is course content. This is where we show. We actually support the Canvas Moodle, D2L, Blackboard, we connected to most of the discussion board, as Sree just mentioned about the codes that utilize us to connect with Discord. And we also can connect it to media space box, almost every major file space that you can currently, or you are currently using, that we can connect, that we can actually access and evaluate that. So that's hopefully that answers that question. Okay.
Yeah, I have a question.
Yeah, thank you, Laura.
I have a question for you, Tony.
Yes.
So under the ability to do the batch file migration to once you're confident that it's not gonna break anything. So if you did that and say you did 100 or 1,000 files, but then you needed to revert, is there any way that after you publish, is there any way to go back?
Oh, I see. Yes. I actually skip something. This is a good question. Let me actually try. Are you able to see the screen sharing here? Okay. So here we actually do two things. One way is once we actually publish, once you have the two options here, you have two options. One way is to publish, which means overwrite the existing file, okay, on Canvas. The other thing is create a new file, which different from the existing Canvas file. So there are two options that we enable. One is we actually, if overwrite the existing file in a batch format, just say accidentally, if we actually overwrite on the Canvas, there's a capability to restore. But we also, if that's necessary, it's not, we don't do it. We also do it. For instance, we apply something later on. If for that particular image, we can take image shot, we will enable you to restore. Okay, for each issue that we automatically fix, that we will enable the admin to come back and restore to previous state.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
so we do enable such capability. But here is a couple of things, is something that I want to maybe spend, because we have some extra time. I can actually think about here. The admin can actually rescan the courses, whatever they want. They can see the scan, and they can actually see, they can actually get the report. The report will show the detailed analysis about how, where, and the accessibility issue, and they can actually get in and view the detail. If they get in and view each individual detail, we will actually show the unparalleled, like a report. For instance, in admin can see what's the original. Let's say we tell him this is how the original look like, and this is what after fix, this is what it look like. We show the report to you before and after, and we point it out different from other two. You have no idea what that is. We just tell you exactly and visualize. You can see clearly where the fix have been made, and whether that actually is make sense. If you want to actually do, we also show the element. We also tell you the WCAG standard for why this actually has been fixed in this way, and under what situation here. This is actually very, very powerful for admin to manage the accessibility progress in a sense. This also helps the leadership to gain confidence that this is actually solving the problem. Apparently, people doesn't have not necessarily have all the time to understand all the issue, but they can actually listen to the podcast about the page, for instance, like this.
Welcome to AristAI, your AI accessibility expert. In this episode, we'll delve into a Canvas course accessibility report, focusing on a page titled Assignment PDF. I'm AristAI, your accessibility expert, and I'm here with the Director of Accessibility to break down these findings and discuss remediation strategies.
Thanks, AristAI. I'm eager to understand these issues and how we can improve the accessibility of our course materials. Can you start with an overview of the report?
Certainly. The report shows that while 78% of the accessibility criteria are met, there are 14 failures, primarily related to headings and lists. Specifically, 8 issues relate to improper heading usage, 3 to list structure, and 3 to hyperlinks. No issues were.
So you can actually get a sense like you can listen in each individual course, or you can actually listen over a program in whole college, whole school, and whole campus wide. So this will actually make like an admin to understand what have been really going on very easy and very friendly. And down to the roads, as what I just actually showed it, we have the AI chatbot, which will enable you to engage with all the accessibility issues that embedded currently. So you don't need to understand the technical jargon, even though you can, but here you can just continue to ask what issue, what need to be done, and what cause issue. Is there any progress? It's just like a conversational, just making accessibility a conversational issues. That's I also make this kind of funny things last time when another company just came in and talk about it, say, hey, we have lots of training materials, like accessibility training material just for faculty. They can actually learn anytime, like during the whole years, like very good, so they can get the best practice. I would just say, well, the faculty and instructor don't need to do that. What they need to do is actually they just maybe get a cup of coffee and sitting and just focus on what they need to do, and let AristAI's tool to take care of the rest for them. So that's I think the philosophy here. I think the admin, IT admin institution and all instructor all have a different tremendous amount of teaching and research pressures already. So we should actually let the tool take this kind of burden away from their mindset.
Question.
David? Hi.
This could be for anybody. The answer. It's great that AristAI can actually go in there and fix the problem. That's great. It solves a lot of labor for faculty. But I was wondering, should some of that stuff still be checked on? I'm thinking like some fixes that might have some judgment involved, like context that you mentioned before, perhaps like a complex graph or something that they may not have some text around it that might need some fixing in the alt text, or video transcripts that it's produced, but maybe it didn't understand the person speaking. And this, when I say MCOT in my class, it has something else, doesn't always spell it the correct way. How much should we be backing up and checking on it? Or is this like something that would always be failed, these judgment calls that we would have to pop in?
Oh, so you're actually talking about the reference or benchmark check. So here, we have compared this very nicely. We have went through like a 2 courses comparison with the ASPER review externally, and also our result. Then it still seems to us that AristAI still do identify more issues that even outside ASPER. So maybe to certain corner case, I'm not saying that we actually solve like 100% of issue, like in PDF accessibility, for example. We definitely have a lot of corner cases that we haven't unable to cover, but we actually trying to cut down the costs and the spend down to maybe only some corner case, 3%, which might require some dedicated investigation or overview or review. But if admin or ADA coordinator identify those kind of issue, they can actually report to us, or they can actually fix on the page, or they can report to us. We can actually help to address that. We also have the most powerful, like the video accessibility tools in this country so far.
I'll add just a little bit to what Tony said. He mentioned overwriting the existing file, but I think that the best way to do it really, especially at this stage, is to create an additional copy that's been remediated, for example, a Canvas page. And that allows you to go in and look at that page. And if it's made some error with the MCOT, for example, you can manually correct that. And then you have the control over whether to publish that remediated page or not, and then unpublish the original page.
Yes, we give that as an option. So we give that as an so whatever you like it, whenever you publish, you have two options. One option is to choose to overwrite. The other option to publish as a new page, as what Marc just mentioned. So you have a whole description this over how you actually want to manage that. Because I have seen both cases. Some universities, some schools prefer to overwrite. They say we do not want to actually check. Fine, overwrite. Some school, some expert like Marc say we actually want to double check. Fine, you have that option. So we give that full control.
Would they be aware of it though? Like say like the captioning, would that always, like a review of that always put that document in the manual audit requested, or would it be passed if there's text with a transcript, but it may be inaccurate text?
Well, yes. Once you actually see the report, you can see here the report. We generate the report. After that, we generate a report. You can see which part you disagree or you agree. That's where we actually showed it to you. You have a complete report.
Okay.
This is actually provide the evidence here already, so you can actually check. You know what has been done or what has not been done. You can just go back if you disagree and restore. That's fine.
So we have one more question in the chat, and then Andrew, would you mind going back to the slide so people can start taking the survey? And Tony, do you want to answer the last question in the chat?
Zhang asks, like, it's a free app platform that we can sign with university ID and passport. Unfortunately, I should not say that it's a free, but so far in the test phase, most at the UFI is free, but in the test phase. But once we actually launch, that could be a different story. Yeah.
Thank you for answering all the questions, Tony and Marc. And people who are here in person and on the Zoom, would you mind like taking a couple of minutes to take a survey at this end of the session? And thank you everyone for joining today.
Survey is also linked in Zoom.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone, and look forward to working together with all of you.
Thank you, Tony. Hey, I just wanted to add, I'm Craig Antonio from TEC. We actually used AristAI this last semester for COSAD, and it was a great program. So just appreciate everything you guys are doing. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, Craig, for the compliments. Thank you so much. Well, I look forward to continue to working together next year.
Yeah, we were very limited staff, so it helped with over 700 students when we only had 4 or 5 of us and
Yes.
answering questions outside of hours and everything. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for that feedback.